choosing chandeliers, this is quite a dilemma. Okay, so let me see if I can help you. Large chandeliers, drawing rooms, antriums are very popular now in a reception hall, an entrance hall. You may have a gallery, pairs or singles. What height to hang them at, that's always a dilemma. Here, for instance, we've got a very interesting pair of English, probably about 1860 to 1880, glass arm chandeliers. They have silvered centre, which is unusual because normally they're bronze, dark. Very popular silver now because it works with the hardware of a house, the modern hinges and door handles. One thing to think about is, if it's for drawing room again, the squareness of the chandelier. Can you get a chandelier that is not longer than wider? It's very difficult. So here we've got something that's relatively wide to its height, so that will help you to gauge for, say, a drawing room. This is 1.20 meters in height, this pair. You would therefore need to have a good clearance to allow, again, for a tall gentleman, let's say, swinging an arm, not to break it. So that would help you in your own mind to ascertain what sort of height and what sort of size you'll need. Moving on for bathroom or bedroom, this is very sweet, but again, if it was for a bathroom, you'd have to change the fitting. So that's, again, another very important consideration. So bedrooms, it's a feminine chandelier because it's light, it's not full of chains of glass, which is the norm. It's got very nice cut, pear-shaped drops. Glass ball in the centre, which is always very appealing to everyone, but light and airy, can be put on a dimmer switch again. Silvered bodies are very popular. This is nice to have this one in silver. Again, fits in with modern looking places. Carrying on through, we've got very difficult to get hold of, but for a modern dining room with low ceilings, you've got a square chandelier. Here we're fortunate to have a pair, which if you've got a low ceiling and a big dining table, then a pair of chandeliers are always ideal. These are probably 1940s. There were companies like Baguette's that produced this type of antique looking chandelier, but obviously not antique because you cannot candlelight it. It would be purely made for electricity, so that helps you date them. We've got icicles hanging on them and daisies, which are elements that were used in other ways on chandeliers. Underneath you've got a glass bowl terminating in a glass solid ball. Unusually on the top you've got these hoops of beads. Again, they would be used in other ways in earlier chandeliers, but someone has very cleverly designed something that aesthetically looks antique. And as I say, it's quite rare to find this type of chandelier. 1930s, 1940s, usually Paris made. When you think of a chandelier, you normally think of a glass arm chandelier, but of course there are alternatives. In this case, we've got a brass Dutch chandelier. They were made in England as well, but that was more towards the end of the 19th century. It was only really after the equivalent of the Regency period that people settled down and kept their lighting, as with their furniture, in one place. But in this case, as you see, they carried on the theme, although this is 1860, that the arm can be removed by withdrawing the pin. So A, it tells you quality, and B, it does infer that it could be of an age, maybe 18th century. The form really comes from about 1680 in date, and it's still made to today, as we all know, pressed very often and very lightweight. This one has quite a weight about it, so again shows quality and might indicate the age. It's been lacquered. This stops the tarnishing, so as with silver, it should always be lacquered if it's a chandelier. So always inquire that when buying. French candled, looks more aesthetic. You're not looking at the bulb, you're looking at the chandelier then, because you have small bulbs, much nicer. Also very popular, I'm just going back here, we've got a Dutch style chandelier. This is probably English because, as you note, where the arms meet the body, there are no pins to take the arms apart, so it is rigid. Interesting with the ring at the bottom, this is taken from the earlier style where they would be on a pulley system and they could be pulled down by a long pole with a hook on the end in order to service the candles daily, and then push the mechanism back up, or the chain back up, where we waited up in the ceiling out of sight.